Hey, mind your own business. It's funny because whenever you use your own toilet in your own house, you never lock the door. At least I never lock the door, so I never realise that guests coming to my house over the past, a couple of years at least, haven't had a lock on the toilet door because the button's been janky on the inside, and for all I know, this lock is like 20 years old, maybe 30 years old. So I just got the cheapest $17 handle. It is a privacy set, so it's not a key lock. It's got the little nub on the inside, so you can just lock it by turning it. And the outside, if there's an emergency, it's just got the little slot in there, so you can just quickly grab a butter knife like everyone does and quickly puts it in that slot and unlocks it. If you're just replacing like for like, the only thing you need is a Phillips head screwdriver. That's it. Because there's only two screws out of the whole thing. However, if you want to make it a bit faster, you can use your drill driver. And it's really echo in here because I've got high ceilings, wooden floors. Well, not real wood, 100% waterproof. It's a good product. Looks like real timber. Now the screws are on the inside of the door, because if this was an entrance door for a house, don't want a thief to be able to just unscrew it from the outside. So it's always screws on the inside. Let's have a look. Alright, so this is a slightly different system than what I thought because it's so old, but it's still the same principle. 2 screws on the inside of the door, little flange. That's really old. So because that's a completely different system, I have to take out the striker anyway, put in a nice, clean, brand new striker. So I actually lied when I said there's only 2 screws in the handle assembly. I need another 2 screws in the striker, so they're not rusty. And actually it's 6 screws if you also put in the striker plate. Now you can see there's 2 holes you have to line up for the screws, plus that square spindle. So it's pretty straightforward. You just slot that in there and go back to the inside of the toilet. Now, the easiest thing would be to just simply slip that handle on, except the screws are longer than that gap between the head of your handle. So you actually have to pull the handle off and feed those screws in first. And then start off those screws with your fingers, all at the same time, feeding it onto that spindle. Also, you got to hold the other side of the handle in with your other hand, with your free hand. Once you get those started, you can start to screw them in just a little bit at a time, about 12 millimeters at a time. So half an inch for all the Americans. And then once you get it right in, you just screw those up nice and firm, but not too tight. There's some systems where if you screw it too tight, the striker doesn't actually open, it just sticks. Test that a few times. Because it's such a cheap system, sometimes it goes in between locked and open, but it is what it is. People will work it out. Test it from the outside a couple of times as well. Looks good. Well, that's done. These handles also come with a brand new striker plate, which goes on the door jamb. But when I renovated the house, I already put brand new stainless steel striker plates all through the house. I just double checked what sort of set this was. It's actually chrome. It looks like stainless, it's actually chrome. If it's indoors, it'll last for years, 30 years by the looks of it. So this old assembly is 30 years old, but it lasted for a long time. Now I'm comforted knowing that my guests feel comfortable using the bathroom, using the toilet, the wet closet. But while you're here, just smash that like button.